Hola, welcome to Bilty's Business Book Review number 6. Today I am doing the Jeffery Gitomer Sales Bible. And before you turn off if you don't think you're in sales, whatever, everybody is in sales. Whether you are a CEO, a production director, a account exec, obviously if you're in business development role, but selling is the key thing. And when we come back from this COVID hiatus, it is going to be more important than ever, and it's going to be different than ever. It won't be the same business as usual with any customer, so we need to reinvent our skill set. And this book, which I have read many times over the years, you always pick up pointers. Now obviously salespeople and people who sell, you have to have a positive mental attitude. Who'd have thought it? Because if you're a negative person, people don't buy off negative people. And in fact, if you're a negative person at your top of an organisation, truth is, you shouldn't fucking be there anyway. Because as leadership, you've got to be a positive person. So all of business is about selling. And selling isn't about talking. It is about listening, active listening to what people want and reacting to that. So as the old sales adage goes, you've got one of these and two of those and you use them in the same proportion. So you listen twice as actively as you would otherwise do. Now in here, there are huge amounts of lessons, and it's a really easy to read book. Lots of lists, lots of self-assessments, where you're strong and where you're weak, lots of different scenarios, like, when you go into a trade show, exhibitions will be coming back, when you're meeting somebody for the first time, when you're networking, when you're looking at taking a difficult conversation from a customer that your organisation has let down, when you have a opportunity to get a referral. All of these things are just checklists to run through, and it's a really useful book to just have a flick to if there's a thing. One thing that comes out of this that everybody in sales knows and in business knows: if you've got a positive mental attitude and you've got self-discipline. And this is what this sabbatical, this enforced sabbatical, will have shown everybody. You will know the people that have used this to the best of their ability. They come back buzzing with new ideas, the things that they've read, seen, experiences that they've done by watching online tutorials, but wherever possible, keep themselves fit and active and what have you. And you'll see that these people will take the new opportunities that lie and fly. People who haven't will equally be self-evident. And this is a good book to get the kind of right approach and attitude. So if you're wanting to develop your skill set, selling is such an important part. And so it's running through how important sales is, because without a sale, it doesn't matter. If you can't produce anything, as we're all finding out, when there's no demand, you can't do it. And that's why there's so many people furloughed. Talking about how to, with integrity, and that's key to this, trust and integrity, obviously all the way through any business relationship. How to build that quickly and effectively with prospects and people you may not actually have ever met before. It's giving you hints and tips, like, for example, a disproportionate amount of the wealth that is out in the world is owned by people who get up early. And most of the people who are movers and shakers get up early. So that's the time to contact them. You will get a better reply, in my expectation, before 8 o'clock than after, always. And, once you get to know people, you'll know whether they get up. I mean, I naturally wake up at 6. That's just the way I am. And quite a lot of people I know wake up at 6, and I'll be sending emails when I'm working at 10 past 6 and and getting a reply at 6:30 from people. And you know what I mean? It's those kind of things that makes you think of how you're going to come back into the world of work. It also kind of focuses on the power of active listening, not filling in people's sentences, which was a terrible thing I used to do early in my career. You're ahead of them, that what they're going to say, so you fill in you end their sentences. Of course, understandably, it kind of pisses people off. So I actively had to change that and make sure that, you know, that you look at the power of silence to realise it's another thing that's in here. When not to speak is as important, arguably more important, than when to speak. And obviously things like features and benefits. I still get on presentations, oh my fucking Christ, you get people banging on about features. Nobody cares about features. It's the benefit that it delivers to people that matters. And selling is about benefits and how you can give those salient points over in a cogent, compact and clear way is really, really important. And it talks about, you know, how to get the first impression. Again, we're coming back, we're not going to be seeing people anywhere near as much as we're going to be using video conferencing quite a lot. So how do you portray yourself? How do you come across? How comfortable can you be on a camera? These are the kind of skill sets that we will need going forward that won't necessarily have been the same ones as we go into it. And I'll just read out in the page 188, which is, it says, the most powerful close in the world is not a close, and the understanding close. So there's this thing about closing. Closing is, you know, it's a bit of an urban myth in many respects. If you match what customers want, then there isn't really a close, and that's what it's saying. You know, if you want to understand deep insight about how your customers use your product as a CEO, as anybody in a senior position, this is what it says. Go visit your customers, watch, ask and listen. Watch the product being used. Sorry mate, I'm just on a video. I'll be back in about 3 minutes. Ask what they like best, ask what they like least, ask what they would change and how they would change it. Ask about the service that they received after the sale. Observe the operations by everyone connected. Ask if they will buy again. All of this, I mean, there's a list of about 20 questions. Actually, if you went into a customer and asked that, it'll give you fantastic insight at how to evolve your business. And lastly, it goes on to how customer service clearly is sales, because you're serving for the current one, but you're wanting the next order. And also customer complaints, how to turn those from being a thing you dread into something that by jumping on it and understanding it and getting it resolved as quickly as possible, that you can actually improve your business, not just with that person, but the wider business. And lastly, before I go and see the electrician, is the network, how to use networking opportunities and how to build going forward. And that, of course, we're all going to have to broaden out our networks and look at alternative ways of engaging with people. So I hope the Jeffery Gitomer Sales Bible, take outside the Americanisms and the bad spelling, because obviously it's American spelling, it's well worth a read, and it'll take you about a day, I would have thought. And if you don't get 20 ideas out of it, then I'll be staggered. And let me know, share with me after you've done that. And if you've got any other sales books that you say, actually Simon, this one's a fantastic one, please drop it in the comments below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, where this is. All right, take care, bye.